Hello everyone, it's Omkar. I will be conducting this live session for PDSA course. You might know me. I am a course instructor for programming data structures and algorithms using Python. And I will be conducting this session, which is open session for week 1, which is followed by yesterday's session. And we'll continue to discuss whatever doubts you have. I already saw someone raise their hand. I think Karthik and it was but dropped. Some bandwidth issue, so I'm keeping my video off. I hope that's not an issue and you are able to hear me properly. So we can go one by one. Whoever has a doubt will go in same manner. Just raise your hand and we can start the discussion. Okay, so anyone? Yes, Mihir, please go on.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, Mihir, you're audible.
Yes, sir. First of all, I would like to ask, sir, what all can we discuss in this session? For example, like practice assignments, graded assignments in terms of that.
Anything apart from graded assignment, we can discuss in this session.
Okay, sir. So I would like to ask something about practice assignment only.
Mm-hmm.
So, sir, actually, since we don't know what are the private cases in terms of practice assignment.
Right.
So, sir, in practice assignment 2, the triangle question, right?
Right.
In that, sir, I am not able to get all 5 private cases. So, can you check on that? Should I share my screen or something?
Okay. So Mihir, for that, I think you are missing some corner case. I mean, you can share your screen. I don't mind doing that. But the thing is, that's the reason behind keeping private test cases private. So that, I mean, you test your code with, just imagine what all possibilities are there. Because there are some corner cases which you are missing out in your code. So because of that, most of test cases will pass, but one odd test case here or there might fail, right? Because you are not considering what all possibilities are there with respect to inputs. You're considering only some standardized inputs. Okay, this, and it should work. That is fine. And because of that, most of your test cases might pass. But then there is still a chance that some odd scenario, which is not ideal one, but some still odd scenario is there. Because of that, 1 or 2 odd test cases are failing, right? So that's the thing which you have to think of. And we will release a solution document for it, and then you will get to know it. But if I tell you what exactly those test cases are, then there is no point in practicing, right? That's the skill you have to pick.
Yeah, sir, that's true, sir. Actually, yeah. I thought about a lot of corner cases. Okay. I think I just need to think a little bit more because I'm not able to pinpoint yet what all I need to pay attention to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, okay.
See, there are total 3 inputs, right? Which represents the values of A, B, and C, right?
Yeah.
Just think about what all possibilities are there with respect to those values. What can be the lowest value? What can be the higher end, the upper bound for it, and what all combinations are possible.
Okay.
Try these various things, and I guess you should get it.
Okay, sir. And also one more question for practice assignment, the theoretical one.
Okay.
Sir, in that the last question, question number 5.
Right.
In that, sir, actually I tried both the like I tried in Colab both option 1 and option 2.
Okay.
In case of perfect square, inputs are both are giving true only.
Okay. Okay.
Should I share the screen so that you can see or something?
Yeah, sure. Please go on.
Wait, so let me open it first.
Yeah. Do you have share screen permission? Just check that first. Yeah, Mir, is it there, or else we can ask the host to allot it? That's not an issue. Just check it. If not, I will ask the person.
Yes, sir. Wait, I'm just opening that.
Okay, sure, sure. Take your time.
Yes, sir. Meanwhile, you can shift
Yeah.
to another question.
Yeah, sure.
I will come back again.
Okay, fine, no problem. Yeah. Anybody else has any doubt? Yes. Anyone has a doubt? You can raise your hand and we can discuss your concerns. No doubts. All right. So then let me just ask you guys that I am not sure how much content you have seen so far. Okay, so Pooja is saying practice assignment 1, question 4. So, okay, Pooja, is there any issue with your microphone? Are you able to talk? I've sent you a request to unmute. Is it possible for you to unmute?
Hello.
Yeah, Pooja.
Yeah, can you discuss the question? Like, can you elaborate the question more? This is question number 4.
Question number 4. Okay. Okay. Before me elaborating, can you tell me what's the issue which you are facing with that question? I mean, which part you are not understanding? Which I mean, there are 4 different lines, right, which are getting printed. Which specific line you have a trouble with, or something more on that? Yes, Pooja. Don't be so generic with it. Just be specific what exactly it's there so that I can focus more on that part.
Yeah, so mainly about this, actually, I'm not getting this, this errors, how it is printing.
Okay. Have you tried executing the code?
Yeah, I tried it, but I'm not able to understand like how it is executing it.
Okay. Fine. So
like the value error and mainly the value error, like what happens with the value error.
Okay, fine. So I'm audible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So can you see this REPL?
Yes.
Okay. So I have just taken that same code. All right. Let's execute it, and then we'll see about each error. Okay.
Okay.
So what we are doing, we are just executing this particular while loop for every element in this particular. Sorry, I is for, yeah. So for every element, we are doing this thing, right? I mean, we could have done it with for loop, but yeah, fine. This is how it's happening. So what is happening for first element? When I is 0, for first element, we are getting error 1, right?
Yes.
So error 1 is coming from here. This is such, it says type error, right?
Yes.
Why type? When type error is coming, whenever we are trying to do something like this, right? This is the place because of which some exceptions are occurring, correct?
Yes.
So if we get error 1 or error 2, that means there is some exception. So for this particular element, which is a list, and that list contains only one element. So it's generally referred as singleton list, right?
Yes.
So for this singleton list, we are trying to convert that list into integer.
Okay.
Correct. And that's not possible. Python will not allow you to convert a list into integer.
Exactly. We can only convert the item inside a list, but not the list.
Yes, only if that item is, it is possible to convert that. It's not possible to convert every item, right? That item should have that capability to be
Yes.
adapted to integer data type, right?
Yes.
But whereas this is a list, and definitely list do not have that capability to, adopt it to integer.
Okay.
And because of that, we are getting type error, because we are dealing with type as in data type, right?
Yes. Yes.
So first error one, understood why?
Yes.
Okay. Then next is second element. This is string, right? Once again,
Yes.
we are trying to convert string to integer.
Yes.
That is also not possible. You cannot convert string to integer, even though string has some integer inside. It's not integer, it's float, but even otherwise, even though you may, let's say, make this just 10 and execute it, now
Then
it
it should
is
not
fine.
be an error. Yes.
Yeah, then it's not an error because this is 10 now.
Yes.
Right? So that is fine. But in this case, now what is the case? It is 10.5. Correct?
Yes.
Now, this is not actually a float. The problem is that if I compare this one with this one, with second element and third element is a float, and float can be converted to integer by removing this 0.5, and then if you print the value of item, it will just hold value 10, right? It will simply skip that floating point, that whatever is there after decimal point, it will lose that value, that part of the value, right?
Okay.
But when we try to do it with string, it doesn't consider this as a float representation of string. It just considers that there are 4 characters in a string. So over here, this 10.5, right? This is not considered as a float. It's just some 4 characters are there, which are one after the other. At human level, we can say, okay, it's a float 10.5, but it is quoted inside a string. But at computer level, that's not how it will be interpreted. How the computer will interpret is, okay, there is 10 followed by some symbol. For us, we consider that it is a decimal point, but for computer, it's just a symbol. It's a, so you can use, right, in just like any other symbol, computer will treat it as just one symbol followed by 5.
Okay.
Okay. And because of that, it's not possible to convert this string to integer.
Okay.
Whereas when we did something like this, in this case, there is no extra symbol available. So computer understands is 10, and now computer can convert 10 to integer.
Yes.
Because it's an integer represented inside a string. But when this happens, computer cannot this dot, right? Computer cannot convert that or cannot interpret that as a decimal point because it's inside string.
Okay.
Okay. And because of that, for second value, it is again error 2, which is this value error, because this time it's not about conversion, because the thing is, computer can actually convert string to integer. Okay. So it's not about type. It's about what is the value inside that.
Okay.
Are you understanding? That's why for
Yes.
second one, it is not type error. For second one, it is value error. It's not about string to integer. The problem is not because we are converting string to integer. Problem is because we are trying to convert some value to integer, which is not possible.
Okay.
Okay. And then
Yes.
this 10.5, I think that's obvious. It's possible to convert, so it's no error.
And why the fourth one does not show
The
errors?
fourth one is a set with single value, right? So whenever, if you remember from your Python course, week 6 lecture on sets, I have explained in that lecture saying that if your set has only one value, computer consider that as a single value and removes the set from it. So in that case, before this conversion, let me try to print something which will give you the answer. Okay. Let's say print what we are doing.
L3
capital, yeah, L of I. No, I mean, let me do it for all. And then the type of that. Okay. Let's see what it is. For last one, can you see it? It says 10.5 class float, not set. Even though it is set, it says float. Why? Because there is only one element. And the singleton list is created like this, which is perfectly fine. But whenever we try to create singleton set, right, we just have to give a comma.
Okay.
And now let's execute it. Now it will be set. Sorry, I'm repeatedly saying it's set, but my bad, it's a tuple because we are using round brackets. Even I made a mistake with it. But anyways, the explanation is still same. Okay. So if we are trying to convert a singleton tuple, we have to give that comma. Then only it considers it as a tuple. If you remove that, it will become float because it's 10.5. If it's 10, then it will become integer and so on.
Okay. And
So,
what if it is inside, like we make it as a string, then it will throw an error, right?
Which one?
This whole bracket thing. Yeah. No, the whole bracket. Yes.
This is what you are trying, right?
Yes. Make it a string then.
Yeah, correct. Now, I mean, there's a double quotes issue. So let me make this double quotes like this. And okay, anyway, that's fine. Okay. Either quotes is fine. So in this case, you tell me what will happen. We are trying to convert a string to integer.
Yes.
Which is possible, right? You can convert string to integer if the value inside string is valid one.
Yes.
But right now it's not a valid one, right?
Because of the brackets and the value itself too.
Correct. So
the bracket will create an error or not? That I want to know.
Yeah, of course it will. I mean, anyway, so it doesn't matter whether brackets are there or not. Even in this case, right? It was creating error.
Yes.
For second value also, it was creating error. Same thing will happen with the fourth value also. Same error too. Whatever was happening with this quoted 10.5, same thing will happen with this quoted in bracket 10.5. For computer, this fourth value and this second value both are same. Okay, doesn't matter bracket or not. Computer will try to convert this bracketed thing into integer, which is not a valid integer value. So it cannot convert. Okay, you got that part?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Okay, so Mihir, you back?
Hello.
Yes. Who's that? Mihir, right?
Mihir, yeah.
Mihir. Yes, Mihir, go on. So, have
yes,
you found out, or do you want me to execute the code? Already I'm sharing, so let me execute it from here. Okay.
Sir, actually, I figured it out.
Okay, then that's even better. If you can figure it out yourself, then I am happy.
No, sir. I figured the sync issues and the screen. So now I can share the screen. Let me just try if I can.
Oh, okay, that issue. I thought you figure out the question you asked. Okay, fine. I will stop sharing. You go ahead.
Okay, no, sir. Actually, I cannot share the screen.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's fine. Let me share it. It will be easier for me also to explain it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. It was the last question, right?
Last question, first two options.
Okay, right. Okay. Let me call this. Okay. You executed this with any specific value?
Yeah, sir, 49.
49. Okay. Which one? And you're getting same output. That's what you're saying, right? Okay.
Yeah,
it is
sir, just
going
like
to-
that.
Okay, hold on. Let me first read what the statement, which of the following options will validate with and support.
So, sir, I actually, after that true, just to test,
Yeah.
I also tested what values this int,
Mhm.
different types of ints are giving. Actually, the top one is giving 7 and the
Mhm.
below one is giving 7.0, but still both are giving true only. So, sir, you can check that also.
Yeah. Okay. So you are saying this top one is giving what?
7
It is giving 7. And this one?
7.0.
Okay, it is giving float and it is giving integer. Okay. Converting this to integer, of course it will be. And then first integer, then float, of course it will be like this. Okay. Okay, I got that. Now what the statement is, which of the following options will that square? Okay. Have you tried with some any other inputs?
No, sir, I just typed some generic inputs only. I didn't try with some
Okay.
corner
No.
cases. So,
Okay, fine. So 49 was both were giving true. Now let's check for 50. Now for 50, first one is giving false, whereas second one is giving true. Now you tell me whether 50 is it a perfect square or not?
yeah, sir. Now this is correct. So second one will not be true.
Right?
Yeah, should not be true.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
I
sir.
guess got it, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. That is happening just because of this type difference on both sides.
Okay, sir. Sir, actually, can you type? Can you just remove this in the second? Can you remove this equal to and type comma so we can see what values it is giving?
Okay, you want to see the value of this right side, right?
Yes. So, sir, we can see the value of all the 4 operations. So you can just
Okay. You got that?
yeah, sir.
So as I
Okay,
said,
so
just because of that, we are converting to integer, that is fine. But when we convert it to integer, that's the difference in those two options.
okay,
Over
okay.
here, after this calculation, we are converting to int. So ultimately, it will always be integer. But whereas here, first it is converting to integer, which actually doesn't make any sense because as we have said, n is going to be a positive integer. So
Yeah.
actually, this operation has no meaning. And then we are doing this particular square root operation.
Okay, okay. Got it,
It's
sir.
against 2.5, but it's a square root only, right? Yeah.
Sir, and
yeah.
one more doubt. with regards to last question only, which you solved for who was
Okay.
that?
Yeah, this one. Yes,
Question
it's on
4.
your screen. Yes.
Question 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I asked this question yesterday also, I think. So
Mhm.
when it's a single value inside brackets, so
Mhm.
does it consider the type to be tuple, or it will consider just the value only and it will ignore the brackets?
Okay, so that's what I said. With tuple, it will consider it as a single value. It will ignore brackets if it is given the way it is given in the question. And if you
Okay.
want it to create considered as a tuple, you just have to give a comma after that value.
Okay. Okay. So if there was a comma in this question, then it would have thrown an error, right?
Yes, then it will be a tuple, right?
Yeah.
And you are trying to convert a tuple to integer. Is
Yes.
that possible?
I don't think so, sir. But since it has only one element,
Mhm.
but still, that's the doubt, sir.
Okay. How to address that? The simplest one is to execute it, right? It says same one, which is whatever is happening with list.
Okay.
So whatever you said, right? It has only one value, which is correct. But whenever we come to this line number 5, right?
Yeah.
At this particular line, what Python interpreter will do? It will simply pick the whole thing and try to convert to integer. It will not look inside that particular entity.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so Python will not even reach that point where it will say, okay, there is only one entity inside, or there are 4 entities, 400 entities. It doesn't bother doing that. It just says, okay, I received one object. As I mean, at this point, I hope you all know that in Python, everything is object, right? So this
Yeah.
is what is this? This is a tuple object, right?
Hmm.
So it sees tuple object and try to convert to integer.
Okay.
And that is not possible. So it says type error.
Okay. Okay. Sir,
Okay.
and just to clear my understanding, in the second element in the list, you said ki it was not able to convert just because it was a float value inside, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So if it was so that means ki this type conversion command only goes inside one level, right?
Uh, it doesn't go inside. It considered the whole entity as a single object and try to convert that object. It never goes inside. Not even
Okay.
one level or nothing. I mean, there is no levels as such. See, in this case, what is happening? It receives what? A string object, correct?
Yeah.
And try to convert, I mean, what Python interpreter do? It will try to convert string object to integer object,
Yeah.
which is possible. Okay, which is possible. That's why it will not say type error.
Okay.
Because type, it doesn't have any problem with the type. Of course, string can be converted to integer. That's what Python says. But when it
Yeah.
actually tries to convert this particular string, okay, which is 10.5, then there is a
Okay.
problem with value, not the type. If, as I
Okay.
said, if we remove this, now still it is a string,
Hmm.
but now value is integer.
Okay.
And because of that, it is convertible.
Okay. Yeah, sir. So the doubt was in this type conversion case, just because it is getting a float value through a string, that's why it's not able to convert. But in case of the third value in the list, in which it directly gets a float value, it's able to convert.
Yes, correct.
So
That's
in
what I
that
said.
sense,
When Python interprets this, right, it doesn't interpret this 10.5 as a float. It just, this is not a decimal point according to Python when it comes in a string. It's just one special case symbol. Not, it's some special symbol. That's how it looks at it. So for Python, this dot, or maybe let's say I put star here. I mean, this okay, star might confuse. Let's use some character which we do not execute alone. Okay. So in this case, this is just exclamation mark, right?
Yeah.
So for Python, this exclamation mark and dot both are same when they come in a string. So it doesn't read this as 10.5.
Okay, it is still a string.
Yes, it is 10.5, 10 exclamation 5. That's how it reads.
Okay,
and that is why it cannot convert it to integer.
Okay. I see.
Okay.
So in case of when it's just an integer, so it just removes the quotes and it checks that the string object can be converted to integer, right?
Yes, string object can be converted to integer always. Okay, it is always can be converted. That's why type or data type is not the issue there.
Yeah.
String can be converted to integer, so data type is not the issue. Value inside that string is the issue when we use that some character in between those numbers.
Okay, sir, I got it.
Yeah. Okay, so one more person raised the hand. Okay, 2, 3, yeah, couple of more. Yeah. So next is Kumar.
Oh yeah, hi sir.
Yeah,
I was just asking in the previous question, the last question you was telling that when the fourth element you quoted with the double quote, no, and he was telling the second element is the same behave as that fourth element. So that's why I was not getting how that, because that fourth element quoted with the bracket itself.
Okay, so this is this what you are saying, talking about?
Correct.
Yeah. So this will behave exactly like second element. That's your doubt, right? How and why?
No, but one thing is here, even that suppose in the 10.5 and comma is there. If I remove
no, sorry, in original question, comma is not there. I added that for some explanation.
Yes.
Originally it is, yeah.
So here is that, but if I will write the quote in the second element only 10, the double quote or single quote only 10, and the fourth element also bracket 10 only.
Okay.
Yeah, but then 2 is the two different thing, no? Or?
Yes, these two are two different things. Absolutely.
Okay.
See, now what is happening? This is a string which contains integer. Correct. So it can be converted.
Correct.
But whereas in fourth case, it is a string, but it doesn't. It's not integer. It's a bracket 1, 0 bracket. As I said, if you have any special character in that string, it will not consider that as a valid string which can be converted to integer. Now this is not a valid string which you can convert to integer.
Yes.
Because it has brackets.
Yeah, that was the one confusion. And one thing, can you explain, sir, why a single element with this tuple is considered as that the again as a the number
as the element inside instead of tuple? Yeah.
Yeah. See, why? What's logic behind that?
Okay. I mean, honestly speaking, even I don't know exactly what was the reason behind that kind of implementation, but that is how it is implemented in Python for some reason. I mean, I've not checked that at that level, that why specifically. Honestly, it was not necessary as per my opinion, but it's just my honest opinion.
Because first time once
it works with all other data types, as you can see, we can have list like this, right? You can create a dictionary with just one element and so on, but only with tuples. That's the case for some reason. Even I'm not sure. I have to do some dig in little bit and look at the actual implementation of tuple class, which is implemented in Python. So
Yeah,
some explanation will be there. Or I mean, will be available over there.
because I little bit confused that what will happen. Suppose if we think first time, then obviously I'm saying that to get that I have to get the, because to retrieve the information we use same as the list also tuple.
Correct. Absolutely.
So if L equal to tuple 10 is there, then to get the value I always use that L0.
Correct.
So even that, and here direct it is the 10 is there. So the meaning of that, one thing also, if there is a single element in the tuple itself, meaning is the number itself, then why need to use the tuple?
Yeah, I mean that.
Yes,
Just
all
give me a
question is
second,
all
okay?
together. Yeah.
So sorry, Kumar. Just hold on for a second, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. So Kumar, yeah, whatever explanation you are saying might be the case, but I will not say only that's the case, because see, if we apply that logic, right? If there is only one element, then why you require tuple? If we apply that logic, then it is true for list also, right?
Yeah, but list
Yeah.
to that list comes as list.
Yeah, so that's my point. So for if there is some logic behind list with one element, we don't give comma. But if it's a tuple, then it is mandatory to give comma. So this was the original one. So now right now this is not tuple. In order to make it tuple, we just have to give comma. So this
Yes.
small subtle change between list and tuple, as I said, even I am not sure that why exactly it is implemented like that
Yes.
by Python. Yeah. But as I said, honestly, even I mean, the way I see it doesn't make any sense, but that's how it is. And honestly, in Python, there are so many such things with very subtle differences, which makes it slightly sometimes complicated to remember all these
Yes.
small
Yes.
details, which is not there in most of the languages, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm not sure how many languages you know, but with I mean, sometimes this flexibility makes Python very popular and user friendly, but sometimes it puts a lot of frustration also when you see visually everything is correct but it goes wrong, and there is no way to find out why it's going wrong, right? So yeah, so as they say, everything comes with pros and cons. So it's like a con for the this flexibility which comes with Python.
Okay, so if you get the answer, sir, then please
Yeah.
explain in
So
the next
that's
class.
the next thing I was going to say. I will dig into the actual implementation of tuple class, which is there inside Python, and
Yeah.
we'll come up with something maybe by next session, or maybe I will just Kumar, you have access to Discourse, right?
Yes. Yes. Sir. Yes. Sir.
Can you just generate this as a new thread over there? Let's open up this
Okay.
discussion for our entire PDSA community out there.
Okay.
Why
Okay.
to
Okay.
limit it to this 15 people here? Let's open
Okay.
it. Let's everyone comment. Let's see what everyone thinks. Then final I will put the actual reason behind it.
Okay. Okay.
Will
Sure.
that work?
Yes. Yes, sir. I will mention that your name there also, so you can see,
Yeah,
sir.
sure.
Thanks.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Okay, I am seeing there are few people are posting some queries on the chat, but while explaining, it's not possible for me to go through chat and so on. So, if you have any doubts, please raise your hand and we can discuss here. So, Anandi, Pooja, Sumishta, and so on. There are some queries, but it's very difficult to read those queries while I'm explaining something here. So yeah, okay. So Kumar's done. Next, yeah, Rakesh.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi Rakesh.
Sir, I have a small doubt, a theoretical question,
Mhm.
that why we use the self in init definition, that self dot any parameter, why
Mhm.
we use that. So it
Okay.
was in Python. It was in Python course, but I'm not clear about it. That
Okay.
why we use.
Okay. Got your question. Okay. Okay. Facing some internet issue today for some reason. So let me just stop sharing to save bandwidth on that front also. If required, I will share back. Okay. So Rakesh, to answer your question, right? Why we use self in init or anywhere else? I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
I only recorded that lecture in Python, so I clearly remember that. Can you just tell me what you understood by self, so that if this unclear, I can go back and re-record that lecture if I miss something. So can you just tell me what you understood by word self? What is your understanding of what that self is?
I just understood that it is the object representation or something like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
That when we create an object like p equal to the class name,
Mhm.
then the self means that p. I just understood this much.
Okay, which is absolutely correct. I mean, what your understanding is correct. I will tell you the reason behind this now. Okay, whenever you call init or any method for that, self is not something which you use only in init, right? Self is something which you use you can use at any place inside a class, right?
Yes, sir.
The thing is, a single class can have multiple objects, correct?
Yes, sir.
And when you use a specific object to call something, you call init, you call any other method, you access a variable and so on. You are accessing some property which is there in class using some object, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
as you were saying, we did p is equal to that constructor of the class and so on. So I have, let's say, such objects p1, p2, p3, p4. I have such 4 objects, and p1 is trying to execute something, p2 is trying to execute something else, p3 is trying to execute something else. Everything related to class. Okay, there are 3, let's say 3 such methods in the class, and 3 classes, 3 objects are calling those 3 methods. Are you
Yes, sir.
understanding this situation?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So how the class will know that which object is executing what? And that has to be there in the code, right? I mean, whenever we execute something, we use variables to store these things, right? But I cannot
Yes.
say p1 something, p2 something. That cannot be a part of class implementation, because when I write a code for class, I mean, whenever I type a code to create a class, that point I will not know, right, what will be the name of the object.
Yes.
Correct. Objects
Yes.
later
So
on we
there is.
there
So
is
there
no
is
way
only
to
one class.
predict. Yeah, there is only one
Yes.
class, that much I know, but I don't know at that point what will be the name of the object, how many objects will be there, and so on. That I cannot predict when I create class. Okay,
Yeah.
but
So to understand that for which object this is belonging to, we need the self
correct.
keyword,
So
right?
whenever any property of the object is being called, as I said, we are calling a method from a class. That point I want to know, as I am a class, I want to know that which object is calling my property, which is this, let's say, XYZ method. But
Yes, sir.
right, and there are multiple objects, so all might be calling at the same time, and I have to keep that track, right? Who's calling exactly which method?
Yes, sir. Actually,
That's
I
why I
got
maintain
confused.
that self. So self holds what? Self holds the reference to that specific object, which is
Yeah,
calling
reference.
it. It stores. I mean, I actually, if I have go to, if just try to understand, if it's beyond this, just leave it. See, every object has some address in the memory, right? Every
Yes,
object
sir.
has some ID, unique ID, like just like students have roll number, employees have employee ID, and so on. If there is some unique number associated with every object in class, in Python, not just class, every object in a Python will be associated with some unique ID. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
that ID is passed to self. So self actually holds that ID, and that ID is used to differentiate different objects, because there definitely there will be multiple objects, right?
Yes, sir. So
So
specific reference for any object.
Correct. So self holds
Yeah.
that pointer, some kind of a reference to that object which is used to call at that point.
Yes, sir. Actually, I got confused in one of the lectures. Professor taught the coordinate points, and then usually we use that self dot x equal x, self dot y equal y for the parameters only. But they are in the for polar coordinates. Professor took that x and y was the parameter, but in it was self dot r equal to something, self dot theta equal to something. So there I got confused.
Okay.
Now it is clear, sir.
Now it's clear, right? Yeah. Good.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Maybe just go and watch that part of lecture once again, so that it will be even
Yes,
more
sir.
clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Rakesh. Next, yeah, Govind.
Yeah, hi, Omkar, good afternoon.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon.
So, I have a question about appending item to a list.
Okay.
So, in the lecture, there were two illustrations, right, for the factors. So, basically, the first 100 factors. So, there were two illustrations. One is using the for loop, and second was using the while loop. In the second example, the initialization of the list was done in a tuple. So there was a count variable, and there was an I, and there was a list to which we wanted to append the primes. So in the while loop, so the code that was demonstrated in the lecture had, let's say PL was a list, and PL plus, and we create a append. We make a list like square bracket I square bracket.
Okay. Let me stop you, Govind. Can you just tell me which lecture number exactly, so that I can open it and we will open the slides.
Recap 2.
Okay, so recap 2. Okay, can you see the slides?
Yes.
Do you remember slide number or something?
Yeah, no, that one, the previous one.
This one?
Yeah, the first primes function.
Correct.
So in the first primes function, line number 5, right? So we are doing PL plus square bracket I square bracket.
Correct.
So I was trying to replace it with PL dot append I.
PL dot append I. Okay, where it over here? It first line.
No. In the second function.
Okay, in second. Okay, in second function, you're saying you're trying to replace which line?
Line number 5.
Okay, this line.
This line, the right hand side. Instead of PL plus square bracket I, I was trying to do PL dot append I.
Okay.
So will it work? It was not working for me. It says that none type object has no attribute append.
None type object has no attribute append.
Yeah.
Okay. So there are two reasons. I mean, I have to see what exactly code you wrote, but there are two reasons for because of which this could happen. One, you forgot to initiate. Yeah.
The same. I did not make any changes except on the line number 5. Instead of using PL plus square bracket I, I did PL dot append I.
Okay.
That's all I did.
That's all you did. Okay, and then still that was not working. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see whether I can copy it from here. Okay, fine.
I think you need to take other two functions also. Factors and prime.
Oh yeah, right. They're explained in some code before, right?
It's in first lecture. These two, yes.
Yes. Only bad part is when I take it from there, it loses the indentation.
Formatting.
Yeah, completely it ruins it. Anyways, that's fine. And just give me a second. Let me format the code and we'll share the screen.
Sure, sure.
And we are supposed to execute this with, okay, the first prime. That M is a list of primes, right? Govind, are you there? Hello? Govind, are you there? Others, am I audible?
Yeah, sorry, I was muted, so I was trying to.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
So you were asking something? Sorry.
Yeah, so no, just M is what? M is list of all primes up to M, right?
Yeah, correct. The first m number of primes.
Okay, so do you have any specific inputs for which you tried this?
I tried two first primes, two.
Okay. Okay, fine. So now I have, okay, let's try it that way. Okay. Can you see this REPL?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so this is how you execute it. This is the original code, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and instead of this, you made, I believe,
Dot append I.
this is what you did, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. And what it says, none time object has no attribute append at that particular line.
Right.
Correct? Yeah.
Correct.
Correct. So what is happening over here in this line? Well, what exactly we are trying to do over here?
Basically, we are trying to assign reassign count and PL.
Right? Okay. Let me do something different than that. Okay. So your PL is equal to PL dot append I. That's what you are doing. And then you are doing count.
Count plus one.
This is what you're doing, right?
Correct.
None type object has no attribute append. Okay, but PL is initialized as list, right?
So is it that the PL plus one is creating the new list, and whereas PL dot append is not trying to append in place? Is that the reason?
No. Ideally, it should work. There should not be a problem because see, PL is the empty list, right? Doesn't
Correct.
matter whether it's a empty or any kind of a list. It should execute with. I mean, append should work on it. There is no question about that. Let me just see whether it is because of these Python things. Okay. Is typing anything? No, right? Right. I mean, that's the obvious one. I'm not getting why it's prime.
Yeah, I spent quite a lot of time trying to understand what was happening.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense, but yeah, I mean, there has to be some sense because we might make mistakes. Computer should not do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Prime of I, it has again nothing to do with this. It works when it is plus I, right?
Yes, yes. With plus I, it works.
But that plus I is nothing but append operation itself, nothing else.
So I think the concatenation will always, result in a new object, right? Is that the reason? I'm not.
See that is a different story. I mean, whether it creates a new copy or changes the existing copy, that's a different story. Irrespective of that, this is a valid statement, right? It has nothing wrong. I mean, that first prime thing may get affected because of that and all. That's a different story. But when we try to append an element to a list, that should happen. There is no doubt about that. Okay, so not understanding what's happening. Why is you're simply appending that value to, if it's a prime, if this integer I is prime, we are appending to a list, incrementing count, incrementing I, and ultimately returning PL. Okay. This is strange. This was the original code, right?
Yes, yes. That was the original. Just close that up, please.
Yeah. Yeah, over here we are replacing with the new value, whereas here we are appending to the existing one. Okay, PL is defined here empty.
So is it that PL.append is not returning something, anything, and it is the PL variable is like has become non-type?
Yeah. No. The problem is
The result of P.append, if you say
no.
P.append, right?
Yeah. This thing is not required, right? This is how we do append. Okay, sorry. My bad. So this is what happens, right? Whenever we do append operation, we don't have to do this PL is equal to PL.append, right? This part is not required, right?
Yeah, it is not required, and also
but
I think PL.append is returning none type, and none type is to PL variable.
No. So what happens is, when we do this initialization, right? This line number 17 is nothing but this line.
Correct.
Right? This is the exact representation of that, and this is a function which this is a method of list class which executes on PL, and this returns none. This every method returns something, right? But whereas this append method, the way it is implemented in Python, it returns none.
Correct.
And that we are trying to assign to a PL, which is we already defined as a list. That's why there is a problem.
Yeah, right.
So if you want to do append, then you cannot use it like this in a single statement. You'll have to split it into two and do it like this. Now this is a valid one if you want to use.
We should not reassign the variable. We should just append and just keep going.
Yeah. Then you cannot do it in single line. You require these two lines. Yeah, that's the only difference.
Right. Okay, got it.
But it's a very, yeah, I understand. Even I got confused for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. So one more question, Omkar. In general,
Yeah.
so we have uh, we have progressed from programming in Python to PDSA, right? So in the week one, whatever programs are there, so whatever programming assignments are there, so what is the approach we are supposed to follow? Like, is it like still we use the whatever Python language knowledge we have and try to use the general logic that we have and try to solve the problem? Or are there any better
I
techniques
lost
that we
you
are
in
supposed
between.
to?
Govind, I lost you in between. Can you just repeat your last sentence?
Yeah. So what I was asking is, like, now we progress from programming in Python to PDSA.
Correct.
So the programming assignments that are given in week one and the programming assignments that are going to come in week 2, week 3. So what is the approach to solve these problems? Is it just that we have to use the language knowledge that we have and use general logical skills and try to solve it? Or should we apply specific methodology to improve our, general, programming data structures?
Yeah, I understood. So for week one, whatever you have studied in previous course, that knowledge is sufficient. Don't think too much about optimizing code, reducing the complexity and making it better and those things. Of course, if you can do it, it's always welcome. But for week one assignments, we are not asking for that. Week one is just like as the week is all about recap of semester 2 Python, right? But from week 2 onwards, we will focus specifically on the way you have implemented the code. So writing a solution, writing a Python code which solves the problem is not sufficient anymore from week 2. We don't want only solution. We want optimized solution from week 2. So week 2 programming assignments are not yet live, as you can see. We'll make them live level testing because of the same reason, whatever I'm mentioning. We want you to write the most optimized code possible. And if your code is not as optimized as possible, then all your test cases may not pass. Okay, so you will get partial marks for right solution. So I mean, it is doing the job properly. So you will get partial marks, but you will not get full marks because your solution is right, but it's not optimized. Is that what you are looking for, Govind?
Yes. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, thanks for that.
So if I mean, for this is very basic one, but if there is a question where you are supposed to do sorting, right? And if you implemented some sorting algorithm with complexity n square, I hope I'm making sense, and you have watched others also watched week 2 lectures. Whatever I'm saying, it's not something which is outside the scope of the subject. It's there in week 2. So if you have not watched, you will watch those in week 2 lectures. So if you are implementing some sorting algorithm with, let's say, n square, and in that specific place, we are not looking for that. I mean, we have mentioned that we want most optimized solution. So you should not write that algorithm, right? You should go for some law algorithm which gives n log n complexity.
Right. Okay.
Then there is a time difference between n log n and n square. And because of that time difference, maybe only 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 test cases might pass. Because other test case will run out of time and your program will be terminated. Because there is a fallback mechanism or some kind of a barricading situation we have implemented on the back end, so that if someone writes an infinite loop, there is a way through which the program will be terminated after some time limit. Otherwise, I mean, our backend servers will keep the stack will overflow, right? So to avoid that scenario, we have implemented some. I mean, that's there even from day one. It was there even during Python. So if you execute an infinite loop, after some time, it will terminate the program. But in this core, we have even reduced that. We are working on reducing that time amount. So I'm not giving you the exact number, but just Just for example, let's say we have set value as 5 seconds. Then your all test cases are supposed to execute in 5 seconds. If only your first 4 test cases executes in 5 seconds, then you will get marks for those 4 test cases, and 5th test case it will say it failed. So final output, you will say 4 out of 5 you passed, even though your logic is correct, but only problem is it's not optimized. Hence, it is not able to execute all test cases within the allotted time limit.
So, Omkar, this optimization, right? It is a Boolean thing, right? Either you like we learn a technique, either we apply the technique or we do not apply the technique, right?
Right.
Is there any incremental improvement that we can learn over the thing, like that means if there is some incremental thing that we have to do, then there should be some feedback from the process, from the system. Okay, that my program may be failing in, it is using more storage versus more compute.
Right. So we are okay. In that case, let me first clear, we are not gonna look into how much storage you use. Okay. So we are not gonna bother about how much space you use. So space complexity is something which we are not gonna look at. So it's only about time. Okay. And whenever we ask these questions, of course, they will be based on that specific week's lecture, right? So week 2, if we ask question, it is definitely, the optimization is definitely related to sorting, nothing else, searching and sorting, because that's all is there in week 2. Okay. Let's say, I mean, this is something which we will see anyway in upcoming weeks, but just to give a small example, later on, if you are working something related to graphs, okay, then graph can be implemented. I mean, there are many ways, but the most obvious ones are either using adjacency matrix or adjacency list. I'm sure you have heard these terms before, right?
Yes.
So in some algorithms, adjacency list improves the time, it improves the algorithm. It will give you optimized solution as compared to adjacency matrix, right?
Right.
So over there, we expect you to do that. If you do only that much, that should be sufficient enough. We are not expecting you to do some kind of too much of research on it. Whatever is covered in that week should give you sufficient inputs to optimize your code.
All right.
And of course, over there, you'll have to remember the previous week's searching and sorting. So that way, it will be gradually incremented.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Okay, next, Pooja.
Yes, in the practice assignment 1, I would also like to ask for the question number 3. So in this question, earlier in the earlier course, like we studied that this double underscore, we use it only with the init. So what about this double underscore with add, subtract, and multiply? Like, I still have to watch the last few lectures.
Okay.
So can you explain? Yeah,
right. So it has actually, this part is not there in the lectures. So this actually is something which we talked about in previous terms Python course when I recorded about object-oriented programming lectures. I think week 10, I believe. I don't remember exact week number. But yeah, I recorded some object-oriented programming lectures in Python, right? I believe it's week 10. I might be slightly off with number, but I think in 9 or 10, something like that. So the thing is, every class has some inbuilt methods. Okay. So one of those inbuilt methods is the one which you mentioned called init. So all these inbuilt methods of a class which comes with a class, I mean, doesn't matter whether you implement them or not, they are always there if you create a class. Okay. Sometimes we use them, sometimes we don't. But all those methods are defined like that. Two underscores, name, I mean, whatever name, init or whatever the other, there's a string and some other names also that are there. And then followed by another, 2 more underscores. So that's the standard followed by implementation of all the classes in Python. Yeah, so someone posted some more examples. So these are some examples. I don't know, I mean, all are correct or not, but anyway, that's not a issue. So these inbuilt methods will always follow this syntax when it comes to class.
Okay.
Okay, that's why they have those underscores. You can also create your methods. As see, what is a method name or a function name? It follows same rules which are applicable to variable names, right?
Yes.
And if you remember once again from Python lecture, a variable name can start with underscore.
Yes, it can. Yeah.
Right. So even you can create a method. You can write a function whose name starts with 2 underscores, then some characters, as you said, add, subtract. You can have underscore, add or subtract, then again underscore. Nothing wrong in that. You can do that. But it is recommended not to do that, because that,
Yes.
underscore some name and then again underscore, that double underscore thing. It is Python's way of saying that this is an inbuilt method of the class. It's just a representation thing. So that helps you identify, right, whether it's a user defined method or something inbuilt. It just makes our life easy to know this to differentiate between these two. Otherwise, there is nothing specific against that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing I wanted to ask, like for both week 1 and week 2, I see that assignment deadline is 19th September. So
Yes.
is it correct for both week 1 and week 2?
Yes, it is correct. It is correct. Actually, we released week 2 in advance, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So yes. If you consider that way, then week 1's deadline should have been 12th, right? This Sunday.
Yes.
And for week 2, it should be 19th. So actually, we have extended week 1's deadline. So week 2 is anyway, it's on time. Week 1, we have extended because there was some delay.
No? It should be 15th, right?
Okay.
10 days, no?
Yeah, 10 days, but we went live on Sunday, right? Okay, maybe yeah, to 14, 15. But in either case, we extended it, right?
Okay, but it's correct. Okay.
It's correct. It's correct. It's correct. It's 19 for both.
Okay, correct. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, thanks. By the way, here onwards, just to give update, deadlines for every week will be Sunday, not Wednesday.
Okay, but in the calendar, I think it is. It shows something else. So I think that's why I was confused. Yeah, in calendar it shows 15th. Means the first one, and then again it was, I think, 22 or something like that. Yes. You just please check, okay? If because it's very confusing.
Yeah, just
because
sure. Just hang on. Let me check it immediately. Which calendar you're saying? A generic calendar or the course specific academic calendar?
Yeah, I have added the courses there already, so I thought it will reflect the course deadline.
Yeah, I understand.
It's
Course timetable will have only live session links.
Okay, then deadlines. What? Yeah, so deadline.
Yeah, I will check that. I will get it updated. I got your point. What you're saying, I understood that. I'll get it updated. But just to let you know that for this term, we are doing this new thing. At least for diploma, I'm not sure what they implementing same for foundational course, but anyway, this should not bother you. It will be Sunday. Henceforth, every assignment deadline will be Sunday. Unless we change it for some reason, it will always be Sunday, even though that Sunday has quiz or not, and so on. I mean, Sundays there will be quizzes, right?
Yes.
Still, it will be Sunday. Okay. Usually it's Wednesday, but we thought we'll give you a few more days, and now so that it will be Sunday now here onwards.
Okay, so we will be given 10 days or 15 days, like for each week, or 7 days.
Okay, you will get actually. Okay, you will get in fact more than that.
Normally, we used to get 10 days, like for last 2 terms.
Correct. So you will here also you'll get 10 days.
Okay.
Only difference is we will release content on Friday, right?
Yes.
And Sunday being the deadline, so the advantage is you will get 2 weekends to work on it.
Extra, yeah. Okay.
Okay, total 2 weekends. So maybe 1 weekend you can go through content and 1 weekend you can work on assignments. If you have 5 days of work or 5 days of something else, then you can utilize 2 weekends for maybe one for study, one for question solving or something. I mean, that depends on individual person, but that was the logic behind it, that that student will get 2 whole weekends to work on a particular week.
Okay, and it's only for PDSA. I think the other 2 have not released the week 2 content. It's only PDSA. Not in the dashboard,
okay.
actually. It's in the YouTube, but not in the dashboard.
Yeah, so they will be releasing by end of today or early morning tomorrow.
Okay, so
they might be working on some final things. Even for PDSA, we haven't released programming assignments yet, right?
Yeah.
So that's same thing. So others also might be doing
others
some
also
final
same
things.
Others also, like app development, also same. So same 19th deadline for week 1 and week 2. I think they should inform me that many will miss this time.
Yeah, I will get it updated on calendar and even ask for an announcement for that.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Actually, this was, I think, announced during those operational sessions which they conducted. But anyways, I will inform the concerned team to, update the calendar and regarding announcement.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, yeah, sure, thanks. Okay, next is Sumishta.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Sir, for our this PDSA course, we must have to install our Jupyter notebook in our own device, or is it optional?
It's optional. Absolutely, it's optional. You can use any of the Python IDE. You can continue with REPL, or you can use that Google Colab, which sir explained. Or if you have something else, you can use that. There is no restriction on any of these things. Only thing is the assignments, these graded assignments, and then there will be proctored programming test at the end, right? These will happen on our portal. That time you will not, you cannot use anything other than portal, not even Replit. That we have made clear even during orientation. So you like last time Python exams, you were allowed to use Replit, right?
Yes, sir. Right.
This time that will not be case, and that's why we are announcing it way ahead of time, even before starting the course. Okay, so do sufficient practice on portal, but otherwise there is no restriction. You use whichever ID you feel comfortable with.
Yes, sir. So, sir, there will be any tutorial for this Jupyter notebook, how to install and how to use it?
You will find sufficient tutorials online, I believe. That's why we did not recorded anything on that front. If you find it's too difficult, then actually you can even skip it. And as sir mentioned, right? I'm not sure how many lectures you watch. This Google Colab is exact. I mean, it's a Google's way of implementing Jupyter notebooks. Only thing, Jupyter notebooks are locally on your laptop. Or your desktop, and this Google Colab is something online which runs on browser, which executes on Google's server on their clouds.
Yes, right.
So I mean, that's one. You can if you feel that installation is too tough, you can skip that and go ahead with Google this Colab, or continue with Replit. I believe you will be comfortable with that. And honestly, if I have to tell you, which operating system do you use?
Windows,
right? Then Jupyter Notebook installation is not at all tough. Just download that exe file and just next. It's that easy actually.
Okay.
So just try, give it a shot. I don't think it will be that tough. And if you feel that some help is required, just use the full power of internet. There will be many videos you will find on YouTube or elsewhere which will explain this. So
okay, sir, I will try it. And also, sir, from now when our GRPs will be evaluated, that will be based on how much time our code will take to run, or just like our foundational level Python course.
Okay, so as I was saying, for week 1 we are not too much concerned about time. So for week 1, do not worry about time because it's a recap. Just make sure you the expected output and your output should match. That's all matters with respect to week 1. Okay. From week 2 onwards, we will time it, and we will make sure that we'll check your algorithms. How I will say, the logic whatever you have implemented, whether is optimized or not. yes, efficiency of algorithm is something which we will check. I mean, that's the most important aspect of this entire course, right?
Yes, right, sir.
Yeah. So of course we will be checking that from week 2 onwards, because sir will explain few things on those lines in week 2. I mean, he has already. So yeah, so we will be checking that. Don't take don't take too much pressure about it, and don't break your head too much on that aspect. Most of the time your natural code should work. Yeah, but as I said, in worst case, you will not get 0 marks. Okay, at least 3 or 4 test cases will pass out of 5. That's something, it's on us, and we'll make sure of that. Even though you write not efficient, I mean, maybe not that optimized code or not that much efficient code, still we'll configure it in such a way that you will get at least partial marks for correct code, even though it's not optimized.
Okay, sir.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks. Next is Parth.
Yes. Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi.
Sir, I have one personal question. It may or may not be. It may not be problem of others, but I learned Python first time in last term, and I have a programming background. So I feel that in lectures and assignment there is a huge gap. Means lectures are very easy to understand, but when it's come to assignment, we have to put a lot of efforts to make code. Now in this course, you are saying that marking will be based on this timing and your efficiency of code. So
correct.
can you suggest some way that if we can't means uh, by seeing these lectures, if we cannot achieve that much efficiency, so some outside ways or something, means some resources explain that to achieve this level of efficiency that we can solve assignment easily, because I feel there is a large gap between lectures level and assignment level.
Okay, have you watched week 2 lectures?
No, not yet.
No, right? So this efficiency part is something which we are going to focus in every single lecture from week 2 onwards. So whenever sir talk about, or whenever sir explains any of the algorithm, right, he will, every time he will mention what is the efficiency of that algorithm, and he will compare that algorithm with its equivalent algorithm, and the comparison between, okay, this is better in this case, that is better in that case, and so on. So all these comparisons are already there as part of the lectures. So by end of after watching all those lectures, you will know which is the best algorithm for to get something done under what situation. That part is there as part of lecture content. So as I was explaining to someone else earlier, if we say, as I was talking about searching algorithms, let's say this is something we have even seen in our Python course. There are two common algorithms, right? One is linear search and other is binary search, and we explained you why binary search performs better, right?
Right.
So whenever there is some example where you're supposed to do searching, do not implement linear search, implement binary search. For that, I don't think you require any external help. It's there. Only thing, it's your decision. At that point, you just have to, that thing should click in your mind that, okay, I'm doing searching and I have studied it somewhere. I mean, forget about previous semester. You don't have to remember. We have explained that again. Madhavan sir explained that again in this course again. So you just have to remember, okay, in week number 2, I remember sir explained that binary search is better than linear search. So I should implement that. So it will be there. That's what I was explaining earlier. You don't have to look for anything outside. Whatever optimization we are looking for will be a part of some, either that same week or some week previous to that. Okay. So ideally, it should not be a problem, because that's how we are targeting it. I mean, it will be covered in lectures in some of the weeks. Of course, in same week or the weeks before that. All right, Parth. Okay, yeah, sure. So next is Harsh.
Good afternoon,
Harsh
sir.
Kumar. Yeah, good afternoon.
So my doubt was, I asked this question on the forum too. So I ran this activity, just a minute, sir. This week 1, PPA 2, the triangle question.
Correct.
So when I did it previously, instead of writing, suppose I am writing definition is valid. So I wrote DEF is valid, then self, and then I started writing that if self dot A, self dot B, self dot C, like this. So when I did that, and I ran the code, the compiler was saying that triangle object has no attribute. There was an attribute error. So I couldn't get it, like what it's trying to say. Triangle object has no attribute types. Can I share my screen if it is possible? Can I share the code?
Okay. Which attribute, for which attribute it was giving error? Can you just tell me that name first? But it will say something, right? Triangle object has do not have so and
it's
so
saying
attribute.
if
Which attribute?
it's saying if self dot A plus self dot B plus greater than self dot C and something, just the first statement, I guess is my first if that I have applied in is valid definition, is valid function, and it's saying that triangle object has no attribute, and triangle object is declared in the pre-written code that that came from your side, I guess.
Okay.
Like IITM side, sorry.
Correct.
So I don't know what's the problem, but again, when I didn't wrote self dot A, self dot B, and instead of that, I just used A, B, C without writing self dot, then it is running correctly. I don't know where the problem lies.
Okay, so okay, one sec. Let me see what exactly how it is defined. Okay. Have you written a code to initialize it anywhere or something like that?
Yes, sir. So my first is define double dash, then init, then double dash.
Correct.
Inside bracket, I have written self, comma A, comma B, comma C. And inside that, I have written self dot x is equal to A, self dot y is equal to B, and self dot z is equal to C.
Okay. Then in this case, your variables becomes x, y, z, right?
Okay, so does that mean that inside the function that I am declaring?
Now you have x, y, z, not ABC. ABC where your parameters, where your input parameters for that init method, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
But then you created new 3 variables called x, y, z.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So don't you think now you have to use those?
That means that when I'll be declaring a function, I'll have to use self dot x, self dot y, right?
Right. Don't you think that that's the logic? How that works exactly?
Yes, so basically I was confused in this constructor part, like how to initialize this, because I was confused that when I write self dot, then what should I write next? Suppose I didn't wanted to introduce XYZ, then how should I return it?
See, the best way is to not to create new variables and just use that self dot A is equal to A, self dot B is equal to B, self dot C is equal to C, so that you will not get confused between two sets of variables and where to use ABC and where to use XYZ. Best to use just create self dot A, self dot B, self dot C.
Okay, and then it will work for the code which I wrote beforehand, right?
I mean, I've not looked at your entire code, but yeah, that's the one place where you should do correction. then I'm not sure. Then you see what else, what other errors you get. I mean, actually, Harsh, I saw your post on Discourse. Yeah, you
Yes, yes,
posted
yes.
some 19 hours ago, as I say, yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw your post, but I intentionally did not responded to that because I saw many people were giving various suggestions. Some discussion was happening. So
Yeah, because there
yeah,
I didn't use
yeah,
self.x, self.y types, or even self.a. I directly used ABC, and
correct.
then the code was running, and somebody said that I should use self.a, self.b, self.c. So I
That
was
is fine. So
so I was confused which is correct. Like, should I go it with self.a or should I go with A, B, C types?
no, that self dot a is equal to a self dot whatever you have written or whatever you have posted, right, inside init method.
Yes, sir.
That is over there. It is correct. The only thing is, I think, I mean, I don't know whether it was intentional or not. Over there, you have written just init, not underscore init underscore. So there is a difference between this init and that init with underscores.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hope.
That I wrote
Yeah,
by
that
mistake.
is.
That I wrote
Okay.
by mistake.
Yeah, okay. If that's the case, then this thing, right? No, self dot a is equal to a, self dot b is equal to b, and then self dot c is equal to c. That part is correct. And I'm not sure when if someone tells you against that, then don't listen to that person. Whatever this that part is correct. Okay.
Okay, sir. So
I am,
one.
as I was telling you, right? I saw your entire code. I looked at even others' comments and so on. I did not give the answer immediately because if I give answer immediately, then you will not think more. Others will not think beyond certain limit, right? That's why I have not
Exactly.
answered it, even though I have looked at your thread and I just wanted to give it some more time. Then I will answer it. I will post the. That's why even we have not released the solution of these problems yet, right?
Exactly,
Because
sir.
I mean, unless
So
and until you don't mistake, you will not learn. You will not learn. That's why I'm not giving answer to that question at this point. Even someone asked initially at the beginning of the live session, that person I told the same thing. You try first few more days, then only I will give the solution.
exactly, sir. So one more question regarding
Yeah,
that only.
yeah.
That self dot a is equal to a part I understood, but
Mm-hmm.
inside suppose the first definition that I have written suppose is valid.
Mm-hmm.
So there instead of inside is valid, I wrote inside bracket self. And then when I started to write the function, I wrote
Mm-hmm.
if a plus b greater than c. Now the suggestion that came was instead of using if a plus b is greater than c, I should have used if self dot. Suppose I have written above as self dot a is equal
Mm.
to a, self dot b is equal to b, and
Yeah,
self dot
yeah.
c is equal to c. But the suggestion
Mm.
was according to that only, which you said it is correct. But what should
Mm.
go here inside if? Should it be if
Okay.
a plus b greater than c, or should it be if self dot a plus self dot b
Okay.
greater than self dot c?
Yeah,
Which is correct?
understood. So your confusion is in other methods. In it, you got it for other methods. Like for example, is valid, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Whether it
yeah.
should be ABC or self dot A, B, C, and so on, right?
Yes,
That's
yes,
your
yes.
question.
Yes, yes, yes.
What do you think? What is the difference between these two?
Uh,
If you understand the difference, then you will know the answer. Just so what you are understanding? What is the difference between self dot a and just a when we are talking about is valid method? Inside is valid method, what is the difference between self dot a and just a?
so the way I understand is when we declare a constructor, we
Mm-hmm.
relate a variable called self, which is present throughout every definition inside
Mm-hmm.
the constructor. So whenever we find we need to go to another definition, suppose is valid, we need that constructor to follow upon in that function too, is what I think. So self dot a should be correct, but this answer is also
Okay.
getting correct. I am not like much clear on this concept. This is my opinion.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So whatever you said is correct. The self dot a, self dot b should be there. That part is absolutely correct. And the some reasoning you gave for that, right? Some explanation also you just explained. That's also correct, but may not be the exact term in same terms. Okay, we are not taking constructor there. Self is like a is a placeholder which stores the address or a reference of current calling object. Okay, it might sound too jargonic and too complicated, but that's the accurate way to put it. So whenever you say that, I mean, in that predefined some code is there, right, on portal, which you cannot edit.
Yeah.
Which says print t dot is valid.
Yeah, exactly.
So what that t is that object of the class triangle, right?
Yes.
So,
yes.
self is a place which holds this T. This capital T is inside self. So to speak, it's not literally, capital T is not literally inside self, but somehow through some references, some memory addresses and so on, that's how it is. Self is actually pointing to this capital T, this object.
Okay.
Because the thing is, every object has its own copy of each variables, right? This is something we have explained in previous terms, object-oriented programming.
Yes.
Every object has its own copy of these variables.
Yes.
Right. So whenever you try to access this ABC, how class will know that which ABC you are referring to? You have to tell that class, right? I am that capital T and I want to access ABC which belong to me, not to some T4 somewhere else. I'm just T. I'm not P. Okay. So there will be there is a possibility of multiple classes, right? The multiple objects. Let's say there are two objects, T1 and T2. How as a class, how I will know that T1 is asking for its copy or T2 is asking for its copy? That's why that self is required. When I say self.a, self holds, let's say T1, then T1.a. That's what I'm saying. That means it is accessing the copies of T1, not T2. Because there will not be just ABC. There will be two A's, two B's, and two C's. If I create two objects, T1 and T2, right?
Exactly, sir.
Then if there are two variables A, both will be called A. How as a class I will know which A you are referring to? That's why I have to say self. And self will hold either T1 or T2. Then I will know, okay, self holds T1. That means I should pick a variable A which is belong to T1. Because self is T1. When self becomes T2, then I know, okay, now I should refer to variable A which belongs to T2.
Okay,
that's why everywhere you require that self.
Okay, so does that mean that for this one, the code was running correct only because there was just one object, that is T? If there would have been, suppose two objects, there would have been a confusion that the A belonged to which one, because it was running with A, B, C.
Even with one case, right? Even with one variable, one object, that confusion will always be there because it will not know how it works. The way it was accessing the working is, I'm not sure that I've not looked at your exact the entire code. See, there are still some variables ABC, right? You might be referring to those variables rather than referring to class variables.
Okay.
Because when you do that self.a is equal to A, that means there are two A variables, right? One is coming as a parameter and one which you are defining as a class entity, which you are initializing inside in it.
Yeah, the ABC, normal ones.
Yes. So you might be using some other ABCs. That might be the case.
Okay, sir.
Which ideally you are not supposed to.
Yeah, so from next time we'll do self.a.
Everywhere you are supposed to do that self thing. I mean, at least with respect to this question, okay? Don't take this as a golden rule and do it everywhere and you may fail at some point. I mean, do it logically. Just think which variable you are trying to refer to and accordingly you use whether self is required or not. This is very common. I mean, don't take it that way. It's very common, and even when I started doing programming, even I was used to be confused with the self, and I mean not self, because I learned Python quite later. When I did Java programming, the same thing happened. In Java, we don't have self, we have this. I mean, just the other name, but the functionality is almost same. So it's very obvious to get confused whether to use self or not. And with practice, you will know when to use it and where not to. And
Yes.
that's why I said, right, I'm not giving posting any answer to your discourse query for same reason.
Yes, sir.
Let other students also comment, and let it evolve like a group discussion, right?
Exactly, sir. Meanwhile, it passed my cases also when I put it self.a is equal to a. So that was the solution. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, sure. Thanks. Okay, next is Sherian. Sherian, can you unmute?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. Yeah, I just wanted, I had a small request. In the previous term, we had this live session where several learners coded together, and I think you and Karthik sir and all that reviewed our code. So that was very helpful because I learned a lot by hearing the feedback that you people gave for other people's code.
Correct.
Is it possible to do something similar in this term also?
Yes, we are going to do at least one session like that every week. At least one, if not more.
Okay. Yeah, that will be very helpful, sir. Thank you.
So this Saturday, if you look at your calendar, right, you will see the name of the live session. This is open/summary session, right? But if you look at the Saturday's live session, it will say something like, I think, live session, live coding. I'm not sure what exactly the name given. I think it's live coding. It says, yes, it says live coding. And that's what we meant by live coding. So if you're looking for those kind of sessions, look for those live coding sessions. I'm not saying every time it will be Saturday. Based on various factors, we might shuffle a bit so that everyone get a chance, or we may stick to that. I mean, that we have to see based on the response and feedback and so on. But definitely at least one such session will be there every week, if not more.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, yeah, thanks. So just turn up there, and if we get higher response for that, we'll increase the number of those sessions and we'll reduce these sessions, because we are just 14 people here. So it completely depends on students' response, but sessions will be there. Okay, next, Kumar.
Hi, sir.
Yeah, hi.
I just want to know that suppose in this course, we have a restriction to use the inbuilt module. For example, suppose some list has given to us and asking about the searching something in the list. So before make the searching algorithm, I have to use that sorting to best way of searching. So in that case, one can use that inbuilt method sorted list. So how will come to the know that so we have written both algorithm or the already inbuilt. So many algorithm is there, many inbuilt module and function method is there, which is already some algorithm is written inside.
Correct, absolutely.
So in that case, what should do?
Okay. So it is, the way you ask is very generic, but see, I will tell you at few places, we don't mind you guys using the inbuilt methods, because ultimately we are trying to check something else, and with reference to that, we don't mind you using that. Okay.
Yes.
But if for example, week two is all about searching and sorting, right? And if you ask you to implement, let's say, some merge sort, okay, and you implemented that inbuilt sorting, then your code will be in one line code, right?
Correct.
And we don't want that. At that point, we will implement something which will make sure that you cannot use it.
Oh, so you are
Okay,
checking
we will do something in our, there is some hidden code which runs behind your code,
my
right?
programming. Okay.
Yeah. So in that we will do some kind of thing which will make sure that you will not do this.
Okay. That's
Okay.
confusion as well. Yes, I got it.
Yeah, but whereas if we go to some advanced weeks, let's say where we are doing some processing on graphs or trees or something, at that
Mhm.
point, what we want to check is whether you understood some concept related to graph or trees or hips or something. That time we were
Okay.
not bothered whether you are implementing your own sorting algorithm or inbuilt or so on. That point we may allow you.
Okay.
Okay, so it depends on what we are trying to test there.
I
So
got it. Means the
yeah.
week we are learning, its main focus that week concept I'm implementing myself, and rest of thing I can use module or we not.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So
So
if you want, just go ahead and use inbuilt methods. Either they will fail, you will get some error, or they will not be the most optimized one. So some test cases will pass, some will fail, and you will know I'm not supposed to do this. Then I mean, say if you follow what is given in the problem statement, you will not face a problem. But if the problem statement says implement a merge sort algorithm, and
mhm.
you try to do this hack of one line sorting,
Yeah.
then you will be in trouble or some of the other place. Okay.
Okay. I am
Okay.
not going to ask that how will possible to check like that, because
Yeah, that is something that's on us, right? We'll take care of that.
yes. And
Yeah.
the other thing, sir. So this
Yeah.
happened. This is the confusion is removed when particular week we are solving. But what happened when we are solving the programming exam, live
Mhm.
programming? So
Mhm.
that time, what to do? Because
Okay.
suppose two things is asked, like you told that no, suppose week 2 we are in higher week we are learning the graph, there we are
Correct.
allowed to do searching or sorting using the inbuilt
Mhm.
method, but in
Mhm.
the programming it all will come together mixed. So what to
Correct.
do and what to not do in that case?
Okay. If problem statement, whatever your question statement is, right? If it is
Okay.
specifically says, if it tells you to specifically use a specific, I mean, certain algorithm, then you
Mhm.
use that. If you don't
Oh,
use that, then there will be a problem. If we do
okay.
not specify something, then you are
Mhm.
free to use whatever you want.
Okay.
That's one possibility. Second
Yes.
possibility, we might say we want the most optimized solution.
Okay.
Then you should remember, okay, I have these various algorithms and this is the most optimized. Then you should implement that one. That means, I mean, we are not directly telling the name of the algorithm, but indirectly we are asking you to implement that and also checking whether you know that is the optimized one or not.
But sir, one thing is that as that time, sometime earlier, Mr. Govind also asks one question. So
Yeah.
that optimization is binary type, but I feel that it is not always binary type, because that suppose I'm giving one example, sir. Suppose
Mhm.
take that checking of the binary number. So
Mhm.
one method is there. I can check from 2 up to n minus 1.
Right.
Generally, in the beginner programmer do, and the go
Right.
little advanced, then they do 2 to n by 2. They check from
Okay.
2 to n by 2.
Right.
So and so this is the n by 2 up to checking n by 2, 1 to n by 2 or 2 to n by 2. It's optimized then 2 to n. But
Correct.
even go further, so it's coming that 2 to n square, square root of n. So in
Correct.
that case, we have seen that the it is not a binary, but it is the one example. It has the optimization happen in the so much steps. So whenever
Absolutely. Correct.
whenever you say that, sir, whenever the real life problem comes, when the many execution is there in the programming containing many function is there, then
Right.
it may possible that optimization can't happen at the all top level, but it can be nearly. But if we have a sorting or searching, suppose sorting, I can say that
Mhm.
merge sort is the most optimization, even the, but someone is using merge sort is the more, because it's taking n log n time.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
I mean, there is actually one more. I mean, it depends on the input size, because there is one more algorithm which you have not seen yet, but which will come in week 3. Again, one more sorting algorithm which is better than merge sort in few cases. But yeah, for now we can say yeah, merge sort is best.
So yes, so the meaning is that if there is only one implementation, we can say that this is the known algorithm to get the best search. But always in the entire problem, we may or may not be achieve the entire optimized solution. So in that case, what to do?
Okay. So see, when you go in higher weeks, right? When there are so many different things we have to implement together, and I mean there are various small components inside, and every component can be optimized to best of its possibility, right?
Correct. And together it will be combined at the end.
Then together it should be optimized one. That's how you should look at it.
Correct.
Right.
Okay, so I have to see every component individually.
Yes, correct. So see, that's how it is done, right? Ultimately, whatever the big picture is, if you want to optimize that, that means you have to optimize every small component inside.
So I have to use the function for the every small component.
Yeah, I mean, you have to use the best possible solution out there. I mean, there are certain things which you cannot optimize beyond some limit, right?
Okay.
I mean, as you said, for sorting the best possibility you know so far, I mean, that's the best. I mean, anyway, it's n log n, right?
Yes.
You can't do better than that, no matter what you do. I mean, so far, no researcher, no scientist has come up with a solution which is better than n log n, right?
Yeah, I have heard that about. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you can't do better than that. So you have to make peace with that, and if you actually come up with solution which is better than that, you can publish that algorithm with your own name. We'll call it Kumar's sorting algorithm, right?
Yeah,
and we'll teach next batch students. So that's how it goes. I mean, that's how these algorithms evolve. Someone comes with some small some small tweak, and release that as its own algorithm. That's how most of these algorithms got evolved.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
And sir, one more thing. The last little confusion is there. Suppose I have a 2 for loop. Okay, so 2 for loop has it's taking the n squared time, bigger time.
If both are running from 0 to n minus 1. Yeah.
Yeah, 0 to n minus 1, and it's nested for loop.
Right. Yeah. Then it's n square, clearly. Yeah.
N square. So suppose split method is there, and the list it's also taking n times.
Yeah.
So suppose inside one for loop I'm using another method. It's called the list split.
Okay.
So what will be the bigger notation for that, n square or n? Because somewhere has written that some sir told that it is the n. In the discourse was there this question.
Yeah. On discourses was there, and I even responded to that saying it will be. I mean, you should not treat it like that.
Yeah, that's the confusion. Is that how it is that? Because
Okay. See, let me start with what is there on discourse. Then I will come to your nested one. Okay. So on discourse, what is there? One for loop is there, and inside that for there are some statements. I mean, one of that is split, and some other calculation, and so on. Some calculations are happening.
Yes.
Whenever we calculate the complexity, we do not think about those internal calculations. Okay. So every calculation will take some amount of internally it might take some more extra steps. Okay. When I say A is equal to B plus C, that is just one addition. Okay. But when we say split, of course, Python interpreter will have some kind of implementation written somewhere in its logic, which is going to do split. And that definitely will take more time than this A is equal to B plus C, correct? That's pretty obvious, right? How much difference? That's a different story. But definitely it will take more time if we have some very big list.
Yes.
Right? But whenever we consider these big O notations or this asymptotic complexity as it's called, we consider this particular statement, whatever you have written for splitting, as a single entity.
Okay.
And we consider that this will take 1 unit of time.
Okay.
Okay, even though it might involve many small steps inside, which definitely there are.
So at the end, it is the big time, and I'm taking that big time is the unit of time.
Yes. So yeah. So this particular line, right? This is actually in code. It is just 1 line of Python code. Even though it is going to execute, call some function. That function might have some loop. It may or may not have. That's a different story again. But it might have. That's true. But in code, it's just 1 statement, right?
Okay.
So for these inbuilt functions or for these functions, we do not calculate it that way. The iteration goes, we consider it for that specific loop, unless that is going to make huge difference. For example, if you write some function which has, let's say, 5 levels of nesting.
Okay.
And you call that function here.
Okay.
Then you cannot say this is going to execute in 1 unit time.
Okay.
We also have to consider how much impact it has.
So how will I know that the inbuilt function we are using, how much impact it has?
Okay, so for that you should have you watched all week 2 lectures?
Most of, sir. Yeah.
Okay, then maybe I think first you should watch all those. I will give you a small hint that how it is calculated, but I think it is there. Only thing I'm not sure that it's week 2 or week 3, but it is there. Okay, I watched later weeks lectures also, so I'm not able to exactly pinpoint at which week it is, but yeah, it is there. But anyways, the point is, you consider you have a list of, let's say, 10 elements.
Okay.
And it will take some time for splitting.
Okay.
Then you take you execute same code, but this time instead of list with 10 elements, you do that 10 to 20. Now you execute that code with 20 elements. That means the input is doubled. Earlier it was n was 10. Now you have 2n, which is 20, right?
Yes.
And compare that time.
Okay.
Okay. Ideally, as per this logic, it should be 2n.
Yes.
Okay. If I keep doing this, let's say for 100 times, 1000 times, and so on, it should increment in that same order, right?
Yes.
But it will not.
But sir, one thing also, until unless we don't have a huge data like that, its running time is not taking significant time like the 1 minute, 2 minute, no. And if it is taking a fraction of the second, then it's for the n and 2n. It's hard to see that what's the actual result through the time, because sometimes time also depends on machine to machine and the process. And how CPU.
Absolutely. So I'm not saying you should run these experiments with list of 10 or list of 20. Just for explanation, I took these small numbers. You should not take example anything below 1000 or even 10,000. Your all such experiments should execute when you have at least 10,000 plus elements.
Okay.
Okay. This is just for, it's easier to explain. That's why I just said 10 and 20. Consider 10 million and 20 million, if that comforts you. Okay.
I always wonder one thing, sir, that is there any way to find that how many steps our program is taking at that up to including the module?
Okay. See, for that you have to, there is something called a step count, right? It's there. Sir has explained that this line will take 1 step, this line will take 2 steps, and so on, right?
It's inbuilt module is there, sir?
No, not inbuilt, but it's a manual process. There is nothing. I mean, no language has that. This is the humans have
Oh,
developed this. Yeah. Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
But in
So
that case, we don't know that what's about the inbuilt module has
yeah,
the how
correct. So that's what I said. That's the reason we don't worry too much about that, because all
Okay.
these inbuilt methods are implemented the best or the optimized way possible, right?
Okay. Yes.
Just we always assume that whatever inbuilt functions are there, they are implemented using the most optimized code possible.
Okay.
And that is the reason every time even these languages come up with new versions, right? Python right now you might be using 3.7 point something or something like that, right?
3.89.
Why
Yes.
there are these versions? Why there are these versions in even in programming languages? They're not changing many things. They are optimizing their code internally.
Okay.
Okay, that's what happens when a new version comes. Even for programming, for other softwares, they might add new features and so on. Even in languages, they sometimes add features. But usually, when these new versions come, you visually from the user point of view may not see much of a difference. But the difference is happening with respect to the logic which they have implemented for inbuilt data. And that's the reason we do not worry too much about what is the complexity of that particular inbuilt function, and we focus only on the loops which we have written.
So in general, for our courses, I can keep in my mind that whenever to complexity or something will come, I have to ideally take that module without taking the internal steps. I will take as the one steps.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So
Okay.
as it says, as the question was, in a loop, if you have a splitting thing, you should not consider that splitting, and the complexity of that loop, if it's running from 0 to n minus 1, it is big O of n. That's all.
Okay. Either it is a splitting, max, sorting, whatever.
Yes. No, not sorting. Sorting will have to consider. Okay. Sorting is bit more complicated one, right?
No, sir. I'm just like that. In the list, there is a two thing: is the L dot sort, and the another is the sorted L.
Correct.
So
Have you timed both and checked which one is better?
No, actually, what's happened? But I know only one thing. Whenever
Okay.
we use the something dot one is modifying the list itself, and another is modifying and returning the value.
Okay, then Kumar, I will give you a small exercise. Okay, not just for you, everyone. I mean, it's open for all. Okay.
Okay.
This is not too tough. Execute this dot sort. Executes that sorted. I mean, two inbuilt ways to sort a list. You know
Yes.
both, right?
Yes.
And third is sort that same list using quick sort. Sorry, not quick sort is week 3. So sort it using merge sort. That's the one with the best we have studied in week 2, right?
Okay.
So the code is also available. So it's not like the code is not available. So try to execute code with these 3 sorting techniques and time it.
Okay.
And you will know why I gave you that exercise. Okay, just do this with some large input. That's important, of course.
Sure.
You cannot do with 10-20. Take some really large input. Take some create some random list and try this with all
Okay.
3 and time it for all 3, and then you see the just compare those values.
Okay.
Okay, you will be amazed just by looking at the numbers. That
I
time
got
you
it.
will know why I'm saying all this.
And but one thing, sir, is
Yeah.
that a particular combination of number also create the time complexity. It's may differ the time counting.
Combination of what?
Combinations of number. For example, suppose I have a huge list, big list, and the half of list is already sorted.
Yeah.
And because that suppose that it is there.
Okay. Kumar, I understood. As in, you are saying the exact actual values inside list. Does that have any effect on complexity?
Yeah, it's combination because 3 to 1,
Yes.
1 to 3, like that.
Correct,
Yes.
correct. So the thing is, in few algorithms it has, and in few algorithms it do not have. Okay. So inputs can be of three different types. I mean, roughly they are calculated, they are considered in three different ways. Okay. With respect to sorting, I am saying, because that's the only part we have covered so far. So with respect to sorting, inputs can be categorized into one. One is completely random. Absolutely random. We have no idea what is the sequence or what is the order, nothing. We have no idea. That's absolute random. One is already sorted the way we wanted. I mean, we are trying to do ascending order, and the input itself is ascending order.
Yes.
Possibility. That's second.
Yes.
And the third possibility is exactly opposite. That means we are trying to do ascending order sorting, but the input is in descending order sorted list.
Correct.
So these three possibilities are there. And in few algorithms, this input matters. And in few algorithms, this input absolutely do not matter at all. And this thing is already there in lectures.
Okay.
Yeah. So whenever sir actually execute these algorithms, he executes with all such different possibilities, and you will see how the time differs depending on the input, the way input is designed. In few algorithms, it will have impact. In few algorithms, it will not have impact. That's the point there.
Okay.
And so that's why I said, you said your merge sort is the best one, right?
Till now, yes, sir.
Till now, but in few cases, merge sort may not be best. There are even better algorithm if you know how your input is going to be.
Okay.
That's why I said, yeah. Okay, so watch all week 2 and still wait for, I mean, week 3 are already live. Even not on portal, it's not there, but on YouTube, you can watch lectures.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, quick sort is there on YouTube. I mean, we have released the week 3 lectures. Even I think week 4, week 5 lectures are also there, in my opinion. Yesterday evening only I gave the clearance to video team to release week 4, week 5 as well. So they should also be publicly available on YouTube. On portal, they will come with assignments and questions as usual on Friday. I mean, that's the routine.
Okay.
But if you have finished week 2, then watch those quick sort lectures from week 3. First 4 lectures of week 3. That's the end of sorting part. First 4 lectures. That there is a lecture called concluding remarks on sorting. Okay. There is one lecture named like this, some concluding remarks on sorting algorithm, something like that. So that will answer whatever you are asking right now.
Okay. Sure, sir. Yeah. And one request I have, sir. Can we get more subjective question like the Python course was there?
Subjective question as in those objective question you are saying?
No.
Programming questions.
The dashboard, it is only the objective question type of question, and the PPA and GRPA is there. But to practice the more question like to solve the programming like activity question was there on the.
This time we do not we did not give activity questions for a reason, because PDSA is a very standard course, right? There are a lot of resources available. We even gave you 3 reference books.
Okay.
So you can find a lot of material there, and that's the reason we thought, why to give activity questions just for sake of having them.
Okay.
And I mean, that's one reason, and we are also planning some competitions for you which can be considered as alternative to activity questions. If you, I don't know whether you have watched my orientation session. In that I have explained that we are planning some external competitions only for online degree students. In fact, that too only for those who have enrolled in PDSA.
Oh yes,
so we are planning that, but the thing is we cannot have those competition unless we cover some sufficient material, right?
Yes.
We have just started with some initial basic things, so we will come up. So we're just waiting for to reach at some specific level. So you will know about that soon enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Yeah. And I think we will close. We have already exceeded time. It's 4:15.
Yes,
so
sir.
Yeah, we'll stop here. Karthik, if you're listening, then please you can stop go YouTube's live streaming. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everyone. We will close the session.